You cannot see the Prophet Muhammad's wife name. But the Prophet Isa, Prophet Jesus' mother name is the 19th chapter. Surah Maryam. Surah Maryam. Right? So this is a kind of the thing. So according to Alija Izetbegovic, he is the president of Bosnia, you know, he says there are three kinds of worldview, ideology. One is the spiritualist and idealist, spiritual-oriented worldviews, like Hinduism, Buddhism, Hegelism, Henry Bergson, and these are Eastern-oriented worldviews. And the other worldview is materialistic worldview, like Thomas Hobbes, Rousseau, Marx. And these are the Western-oriented worldviews. So he says, first worldview, concentrate the soul. The second worldview, concentrate the body, material. So, and he says, Islam is the bridge between East civilizations and the West civilizations. Because Islam is the way of balance. That's why Islam is the only alternative worldview for the mankind. So as I mentioned, in our worship, the best way is just the balance. We're supposed to protect the balance every time. Because this is the nature of the universe. This is the nature of our body. As I mentioned, I'm repeating for the brothers and sisters coming. If it is too warm, we are going to sweat. If it is too cold, we are going to shake. So the body also says the middle way is the best way. So that's why we should preserve that. We should remember the word of Allah. وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ. And we have made you a middle way community that you may be witness for the people. Okay, this is my presentation, but we may continue with the questions and answers if you want. We can do like that. Any additions? Of course, not only questions, but you may have some additions.
I had a question.
Yes.
It's related to one of the last points you made about how Islam is a bridge between the Eastern ideologies and the Western ideologies. It's like a balance between the mind and the soul and the body.
Mm-hmm.
So I know being Muslim by definition it means that everything you do is technically an act of worship, or you can make it an act of worship, like ibadah,
mm-hmm.
and it can count as a good deed.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know that being very very spiritual, always being always doing dhikr
mm-hmm.
is also not necessarily encouraged. We're also encouraged to gain worldly knowledge
mm-hmm.
and play sports and keep a good body, things like that. But what I wonder is when you do things that aren't directly spiritual,
mm-hmm.
Let's say playing sports or something, something that's halal, but something that's not directly an act of a theological act of worship.
It is a theological. There is no difference between, for example, the positive science and religious science. If you study medical science, you are the student of one of the attributes of Allah. Allah is the Shafi. Allah is the healer. So you study that. You try to understand how Allah is the healer. If you study the other scientific systems, for example, law, you study Allah is how justful. So there is always all of the scientific systems refer to Allah. So in Islam, even if you study biology, even if you study anthropology, even if you study anything, so you study something related with religion. There is no division like that. So you study something. You try to learn how Allah is the greatest. If you study art, one of the name of Allah is Sani. So you study how Allah is the artist. So you study everything like that. And whenever you make sports, for example, You try to take care of your body because this body belongs to Allah and you're supposed to take care of your body. So that's why you are making sport, you are swimming. So whenever you go to swimming with that intention, so this is going to be one of your spiritual duty. And it's not going to be, we cannot divide that this is Islamic, this is non-Islamic. If you are doing something wrong, if you are doing something haram, which is prohibited, it is non-Islamic. But if you are swimming, if you are talking, if you are eating, also eating is also ibadah because you're supposed to take care of your body. So that's why there is no division like that. So Islam is the religion of Tawheed, which means the unity. So in every part of our life, we have some meaningful things. So I think this was the thing you were saying.
Yeah. I guess as long as you make like an intention before you do whatever you do, as long as it's halal, you can make it like a good deed, like an act of ibadah.
Right. Alhamdulillah. That's right. Any additions? Any interpretation? Welcome. Inshallah.
Yes. That moderation is the way of Islam, and we can see that in nature itself. Like if there is no rain at a time, we get drought, and every life is like destroyed. All plants are destroyed because there is no rain. And on the other hand, if it's like too much of rain, then there is flood, and all life is destroyed. So in like a forest system, there is a balance between the carnivores and the herbivores. So the herbivores like deers and all eating plants, they are kept in check by the carnivores. Otherwise they'll eat all plants and nothing will be left. And if there are more carnivores, they'll eat all the herbivores, and then for themselves itself there will be no food left. And like for body itself, we eat food to sustain ourselves. If we eat too less of food, we are starved. And all of our body function will be like go haywire. And if we eat too much of food, then we suffer from other problems. So it's the moderation that is the best. Like Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam also said, you eat 1/3 of your stomach capacity, you eat, then fill like 1/3, leave 1/3 for water, and 1/3 as it is. That will be the best.
That's the thing. I'm repeating again. This word, if it was very close to sun, there will be no life. If it is far away from the sun, there will be no life. So it is in the middle, and this earth says there is a life because it is in the middle. It is in balance. So if the earth is like that, so we're supposed to be like that. We shouldn't be extreme. We should be in the middle way. So this is the recommendation of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So the greatest claim of Islam is the way of balance. And Islam criticized the other belief systems because they go further, they go extreme. So that's why Muslim extremism, Islamic extremism is not theologically right. It is impossible because the Islamic system, if you ask, some people are making interpretation like that. Muslims are 1,500,000,000 people in the world. And among these people, of course, there will be some different interpretations and there will be some extremism. But the nature of Islam is against the extremism. This is what we are saying.